Okay, so this is the Game Boy Light. They did some repairs on, and I'm still using a temporary fuse. I got headphones hooked up just to make sure that the sound's working, which it is. But I'm gonna let this thing, turn this thing on. And turn the light off. So I can kind of see the screen. Damn thing's flickering non-stop, so I think it's because I don't have the actual fuse hooked up. So get to the next. So you can see the buttons actually work. And that concludes the test video for today. So I'm going to run through the basics of what I did. So, I'm going to get this tape off here. So, oh shit, probably broke it. Yeah, I got a new one coming anyway, just in case if this one's actually broken. But in any event, so the repairs I have done on this thing are the following. First and foremost, the power LED has been replaced because apparently I burnt out the old one that was on here. Let's see, what else did I do that was stupid? Well, obviously I blew both fuses. Fuse F1, which is the through-hole one right there, which is for the battery, and F2, which controls the DC circuitry. So right now I have fuse F1 using a solid wire from the power LED onto here as the fuse, as a temporary fuse I should say, until I get the other one in the mail. The display itself has the horizontal lines of death, which is rather unfortunate. You saw that in the video. I tried fixing it, but apparently it's not doing anything. But I did order a new screen for this thing, which is the one meant for the Game Boy Light. And then another thing I also ordered was the EL, which is the backlight on this console. The original one works just fine, but it's best to have a spare part just in case something goes wrong. Let's see, what else did I do? I replaced the DC jack and the headphone jack because the original ones were corroded to hell. These were the ones from, they pulled from a Game Boy Color motherboard. And everything that was replaced was the negative battery terminal because the original one was corroded to hell. And then the A and B buttons weren't working, along with the left D-pad button. So what I did, as you can see, is I patched some traces using some thin wire to the respective pads, which in turn worked out very well. And I'm actually quite surprised. But I'm going to get some conductive pen to rebuild those. Even though the A and B buttons work just fine, which is good. The left D-pad button also works. It's not doable to do anything like that, just to have it the way it is. And I'd like to try to find a pen that has the same color tin as the original, so I can make him much more factory fresh. Let's see. What was the other thing I did? Actually, it pretty much sums it up of what I did. Oh, I also cleaned the switch out. It wasn't even actually that bad though, but best to clean up a switch when you have a console taken apart for diagnosing, repairing, and all that good stuff. So the system indeed works once again, mostly, except for the bad screen. So I'm waiting for the screen to arrive. The actual fuses for this thing. Waiting for a speaker to arrive because apparently the original speaker was corroded to hell. Actually, I do have a replacement speaker, but I don't have any. Actually, wait a minute. I do have some wiring, but my plan is to swap cases because this case, the shell is kind of falling apart. Well, it's not in really good shape, unfortunately. Damn, my brain's already over. But the one thing that I'm going to do in the meantime is wait a while until I get everything situated. Like I said, I'm getting a display for this thing, the EL, which is the backlight, the actual fuses for this thing because, well, I don't want to run this on full time with just a wire because it'll damage the console if you do that. So so if anyone is in the market of getting a Game Boy Light and wants to do something like this, I recommend that you actually order fuses. They are available. It's just labeled as Game Boy Pocket fuses because technically this is a Game Boy Pocket, except this one has a backlight. And this system came all the way from Japan. Literally all the way from Japan. And so let's have to show you the damage that the battery hit, that the corrosion has done on the board here. Mostly on the negative, on the ground itself, which is rather unfortunate. Let's see, the DC jack and the headphone jack, those were bad. So I ended up, like I said, replacing those. I did that last night. Or was it the day before? I forget. I think it was last night. Oh yeah, I remember I did it yesterday. That was my day off. Let's see. I think you saw the A and B pads. They were corroded to hell as well. Those the points that go to these two vias right here. Showed no connection from here on here, and then one, and then this for the A pad right here, and that explains why the left button wasn't working. It's because this one actually connects to the same via, and if there's a break connection, it'll not work. And then I got brand new polarizer films for the displays. I thought I was going to be using, but apparently not. Because, well, they're all damaged. Well, one of them worked fine for a while until it broke. Because I might try to rebuild that one. I have to replace the reed reflector because it was kind of really bad on it. The thing I have to do is I'm clean the contrast on the volume potentiometers because they are kind of scratchy. A little bit flaky and stuff like that. But other than that, volume's working fine to a point. I just want to make sure that everything's nice and clean on here. And then once I get the speaker put on in here and then I get this thing reshelled, it's going to be looking fantastic. And I do see that there's still a bit of corrosion right next to the capacitors, and my future plan is to replace those capacitors, all 5 of them here, just to be on the safe side, and add an audio amplifier so it doesn't have like a hiss noise to it. But I think that's more of the ones with the IPS displays that get that. I actually thought about getting an amplifier board for my Game Boy Color motherboard here, or upgrade the battery section to the USB-C one that also doubles as an audio amplifier for the speaker itself, so you'll have no hiss or anything like that. Let's see, I think I did replace the capacitors on here. Yep. Yeah, I did replace the capacitors on the motherboard not a long time ago. The console works, but right now, I'm sorry, the motherboard for the Game Boy Color works just fine. However, I do not have a case for it yet, and laminated displays I was going to use on it totally broken. So I ordered a new one off of eBay for that one. I got pretty much a lot of parts from Retro Game Repair Shop that are coming in, and I have to now find the little cap for the hinges for my Game Boy Advance SP, because apparently it fell off again, which is not fun. Let's see, where the hell did it go? I know I have other things I have to do here. Well, the Game Boy Advance SP I thought about reshelling, but I can't find the one that this one utilizes, which is the oh, here's one thing. Okay, there's the cover for the cover for the front screw here, because apparently it kept popping off all the time. And then the LED deflector, reflectors, whatever it's called. Those need to be put back on / in. And I just have to figure where the hell the cover is for the hinge. I might have to order new ones anyway, because they fell apart. And I've had this console for a very long time. I'm not going to reshell this thing. I was going to try to find more covers for it, but if I can ever find the actual one for this console, I'd be happy to reshell this thing and replace every runs work and everything. Actually, I'd order a volume slider, because apparently asshole me decided to break the original one off because I thought it was removable. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. But that's all for today's video on the Game Boy Light. And if you do have any questions or concerns about it, or if you want to leave a comment, feel free to do so. If I put the Game Boy Color one back over here, disconnect the battery from it. So, that's all for now. And that's my constructive soldering work, which, like I said, it works. And I'm actually surprised. Yeah, I do have some corrosion I need to remove off here too. But other than that, the console works just fine, even with the temporary fuse that I had in here. So I'm going to go and get once I get the new fuses in, everything. Then this console will be good to go, and then clean off the volume potentiometer and stuff like that, because it's kind of scratchy. Well, actually, the volume one's not that bad, but the potentiometer for the contrast is a little flaky. But I might have to replace that too, in case if that's actually bad. But ironically, the ones on the Game Boy Pockets work just fine. And those are also Japanese import. So, thank you very much for watching, and feel free to leave a comment if you have one.